What's going on, guys? As many of you know, there's a viral video going around of sheriffs from the Florida Police Task Force punching a man by the name of William McNeil Jr. in the face. There's a hot topic debate going around all over YouTube and TikTok about if this was excessive force or if this is a moot point and no excessive force existed here. Let's watch the full length video so we can get a full scope of what happened from beginning to end, and then let's come to our own conclusions and say what we think will happen. After we're all said and done, jump in the comments section. Let me know your thoughts. Let's watch this.
Yeah, Florida 2-4 Bravo Echo Charlie Whiskey on a silver Kia. I know that.
Yes, sir.
Is there a reason why you're popping the door open like that?
I don't have a window that works. Is there a reason that you're pulling me over?
If you're ever pulled over by a police officer, do not pop the door. If you want to put an officer in a severe state of fear, pop the door open like this. This will not get you any brownie points.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a reason why I'm pulling you over. For one thing, inclement weather, you don't have your lights on. Two things, you're not wearing your seatbelt.
It's daylight. I don't need the lights. And it's not weather. It's not raining.
This is inclement.
All right, so there's a question of, does William really need to have his headlights on during rain or inclement weather? Let's take a look. So, as you can see here in Florida, you are required to drive with headlights during inclement weather. In Florida, you are required to have headlights during inclement weather, and the actual section and statute that covers it is 316.217 in the Florida traffic statute. And it mandates that the headlights must be turned on when driving in conditions where visibility is reduced, such as during rain, fog, smoke, or other adverse weather conditions. Specifically, headlights are required from sunset to sunrise and during any time when weather conditions make it necessary to use windshield wipers. This applies to all vehicles to ensure safety and visibility. Violating this law can result in a traffic citation. So there we go. That answers if headlights are required during inclement weather, during a traffic stop. And we can also see by this timestamp, it definitely falls within the parameters of sunrise to sunset. Let's keep going. Let's see what else we find out here.
Okay, I'm not arguing with you. I'm telling you why I'm pulling you over. Give me your driver's license, registration, proof of insurance.
No, call your supervisor.
Okay, now the next question becomes, when asked by an officer in Florida, can the defendant refuse to ID when asked? Let's find out. So here, this is from Hager and Swartz, Fort Lauderdale criminal defense lawyers. And the main question is Florida a stop and ID state? So what I found out was via this law firm's website, the legal basis is for providing identification. Florida's stop and ID laws are firmly rooted in state statutes that outline when and how law enforcement officers can request identification from individuals. So it is clearly being stated immediately that Florida is absolutely a stop and ID state. And in fact, the statute that actually covers it is right here. Florida Statute 901.151. And this says that the law authorizes police officers to temporarily detain an individual if they have a reasonable suspicion that the person is committing, or is about to commit a crime during detention. Officers can ascertain the individual's identity to facilitate their investigation. It says in bold letters, the law is applicable in various scenarios, including suspicion of criminal activity and traffic stops. So these officers are clearly within the parameters of the law so far.
Why?
Excuse me?
Call your supervisor. Why?
Excuse me?
Call your supervisor.
Oh, we got the proverbial call your supervisor. That is the go-to move as a stall tactic. This move never works. It will not get you out of the traffic stop. All you're doing is delaying the inevitable. Do not attempt to hold court on the side of the road. It almost never works out in your favor.
Why did you pull me over?
35. I'm cooperative dog driver. I've already told you.
Why did you pull me over?
Step out of the vehicle.
No.
Step out of the vehicle.
As you can see here, the officer ordered the defendant out of the vehicle. However, the defendant refused. So the question becomes, is the officer in the right? So we have Pennsylvania v. Mims 434 U.S. 106, 1977 via Justia U.S. Supreme Court. Is it via or via? I've never been able to say that word correctly, and I've heard multiple pronunciations of that word. Anyway, so what this federal law dealt with was police officers had stopped the respondent's automobile for being operated with an expired license plate. One of the officers asked the respondent to step out of the car and produce his license and registration. As the respondent alighted means he got off or got out. A large bulge under his jacket was noticed by the officer, who thereupon frisked him and found a loaded revolver. Respondent was then arrested and subsequently indicted for carrying a concealed weapon and an unlicensed firearm. His motion to suppress the revolver was denied, and after a trial at which the revolver was introduced in evidence, he was convicted. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court reversed on the ground that the revolver was seized in violation of the Fourth Amendment. However, it was upheld that the order to get out of the car issued after the respondent was lawfully detained was reasonable and thus permissible under the Fourth Amendment. So basically, in layman's terms, just because it's inconveniencing, you cannot refuse to get out of the vehicle if an officer so tells you to do so. So under the standard announced in the Terry v. Ohio, so basically the Supreme Court used the basis of the Terry v. Ohio decision and compounded this as part of the weight of how they came with their final decision in Pennsylvania v. Mims. And therefore, you cannot simply just refuse to get out of the vehicle when asked upon a police officer. So this is something that is enforced across all 50 states.
25 seconds. For 9-4, the driver just slammed the door and locked it. Yep. 25 seconds. If anybody responded, come in from Commonwealth, block the vehicle, please.
I'm coming west on Commonwealth. I'll give you a quick.
Keep your hands where I can see them, sir. My camera's on too. I've already told you. Okay. Okay. Right now you're under arrest for resisting. You understand? You're under arrest for resisting. The longer you take us on, the worse it's going to be. Keep your hands where I can see them, sir. Okay.
That officer appeared like the Matrix. That officer freaking teleported in. So far, what we are seeing that the officers are being patient up to this point.
Sir, this is your last warning to open the vehicle and exit before we're going to break the window. Open the door and exit, or we are going to break the window. Open the door and exit, or we are going to break the window.
Well, we're conducting a traffic stop right now. You need to.
No, he's under arrest.
Shut up. Get out of here. He's under arrest. We're not doing a traffic stop. We're way past that point. Get out of here, you freaking newbie.
Hey, I'll lock the car. I'm going to push it up.
Open the door and exit. You are under arrest for resisting. Open the door and exit. You are under arrest for resisting.
They making sure he's not going nowhere. They got him for 3 more minutes. Yeah.
Open the door and exit. You are under arrest for resisting. Open the that door and exit. You are under arrest for resisting.
As you see, the supervisor has not come nor has been called up to this point. Now, you request a supervisor does not mean the officer has to call the supervisor. That is policy that is practiced from various police agency to various police agency. That is not a federal law. That is not a state law requirement that you ask for a supervisor and the officer must comply.
Can you unlock the door and step out? I will. Can you step out? You're being done. If there's a traffic stop being conducted, you're required to comply.
Vehicle's blocked in.
Yes.
He's locked it up. Putting the window down.
Correct.
I tried to talk to
Huh? Okay. So what did he ask for when he I guess, talked to you?
When he pulled me over, he walked up, opened my door, my window don't work, right? And then I said, so what I did wrong?
Yeah.
He said, well, for one, your headlights are off under this weather. I'm like, there's multiple people headlights off.
Okay, that's still
and then there's no rain.
That's not a formulaic thought to state that other vehicles on the road are driving without their headlight. That may be true, but they caught you.
It doesn't matter. You're still required to have headlights on.
Can you pull that law up?
Huh?
Can you pull that law up?
Yeah, when you step out of the car, I will.
Now you can see the officer becoming a bit annoyed because he's attempting to argue his case on the street. Officers are in the business of arresting, not holding court on the side of the street. If they did that, they would never get anything done in a given workday.
Hey,
Can you call your supervisor?
Huh?
Can you call your supervisor?
All right, go for it.
Oh, Florida, they with the shenanigan. Oh, they with all the smoke. Yep. They want all the cigar smoke. Yes, they do. They're not worried about it at all. They're built a little different down there in Florida. Those officers operate a little bit different. Their tolerance level is much, much lower.
exit the vehicle now! Exit the vehicle! Show me your hands.
Here. I know that facial reaction. That took every level of self-restraint for him not to respond the way he wanted to respond when he was punched in the face. I don't care who you are. If someone punches you in the face, fight or flight is your only two deals. In this option, he did not want to Tom and Jerry this thing.
I'm here. What is your reason, sir? What is your reason?
Step out now. All right.
No, don't
Put your hands back! Resist!
Now, I don't know if some of you caught that, but when he was pulled out of the vehicle, he was punched again and then punched multiple times on the ground. You can't see it so well, but you can hear the sound effects taking place. What do you guys think? Do you think this is justified? Do you think this is unreasonable? Do you think this is extreme? What do you think is the deal here? Do you think he's going to get paid? Let's keep going.
Behind your back! What's wrong with you?
What you mean? I was putting my hands behind my back. I was on.
Ain't no talking now, man. Ain't no talking.
What's going on, man?
You're under arrest.
I will say this very quickly. In my own personal opinion, I felt the first punch was excessive. I know the argument may be made that force is not meant to be attractive in appeal. However, when they pulled him out of the vehicle and they punched him again in the face, that one's a little bit iffy to me. But what I do feel when they placed him on the ground and they gave him multiple punches, I felt that was excessive. So I felt the very first hit, and when he was on the ground, I felt those successive punches were excessive. I felt that he was getting into a position to comply, but the officers were worked up, which is I understand because it happens during a traffic stop, and they probably felt he was taking too long to comply. Now, if he was taking too long to comply, you be the judge.
No, bro. Yes, bro. Yes. That's a lawful reason, bro. You look on the phone like that, bro? Yeah, I'm gonna take it off of you, bro. Yeah. And I'm just trying to have a regular conversation with y'all, bro. That's how it works. When they asked you to step out of the vehicle, you should have done that shit. So your partner didn't even act. Marijuana in his right pocket. Yes, it is. So why close the door if you see him pull up? Because.
Do you guys think if he would have shown his ID and complied, that the officers would have just wrote him a ticket and sent him on his way for no headlights? Or do you think he created a situation and made it more egregious than what it needed to be? I'm still separating the fact that once he was punched in the face while sitting in the vehicle, I am still under the conviction that that was excessive force.
Hey, what you mean? He talking about arresting me and stuff, but I didn't do nothing.
Oh, no resisting, idiot.
I didn't do nothing wrong.
I don't know.
Can you back me up to the cop and clean up? You bust my
So it looks like we got a little bit of bleeding from the officer's hand. I don't know if that's in the mix of the scuffle or from when they just punched him a rapid fire amount of times that they may have punched him in the mouth or in the teeth, and his teeth cut the officer's hand.
Can you start rescue? 1067. Approximately 30-year-old Bravo 9. Laceration. I did.
Okay, so yes, the officer just stated and keyed into the radio that the defendant has lacerations to the lip, which, if one was to just use common sense, it's likely the result of when the officer or officers punched him in the face a successive amount of times.
Thank you.
I know. It's just supposed to go on, though.
No.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think the officer was also showing his wrist to imply or suggest that the defendant was resisting arrest.
You good?
Yeah, you or him? Oh, okay.
Well, can you for you too,
All right, guys. So what do you think? What do you think? Do you think that Williams should get paid? Do you think that this is just nothing to discuss? Do you think this is an overreaction in the media? For those of you that don't know, Benjamin Crump has been hired on as his lawyer. Make of that what you will. But I do think ultimately this guy is going to get paid. And this is one of the reasons why body cams are necessary. And he's going to cash out because these police stations pay so much in insurance for incidents just like this. And unfortunately, it comes at the behest of the taxpayer. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Jump in the comments section. Like, share, subscribe. Help me get on this road to 1,000 subscribers. I'll catch you in the next one, guys.